Hey guys, this is Justin back with an engineer's perspective. I just shot the review of this little light, and I figured I have all of my flashlights out. I might as well follow right up with the M2R Warrior review. So this was a very favorable review. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not gonna be a very favorable review. So I'm just gonna give you the history of what led me to this light really quick. So at the time, the reason I bought that is I was working in a sugar refinery, and there's lots of places that are not well lit. So carrying around a flashlight is extremely important in that environment. And what I got issued to me, I guess, was this. This is a Streamlight Polytac HP, I believe. And I didn't find anything that was better than this. One thing I will say is that in the sugar refinery is you cannot have glass in there. So the reason why we chose this is because it's got a plastic lens. These Olights, I believe that's plastic. This one is not. Or this one's glass, but shh, don't tell. Anyways, I had this light, and it's 600 lumens. It's got a smoking hot spot, which I liked in that environment for pointing at things and tracing them down. But I wanted something that was brighter, but more importantly, had the battery life, because this takes two CR123As, and it would just died really fast. So I wanted something that I could quick flip on a charger, take off, go out, always be topped off. So I had good experience with this, so I figured, hey, might as well check out the M2R Warrior. I already like an Olight product, and that way I get the magnetic tail cap. And boy, was this a mistake. So let's go to the features of it. It is just over 5 inches long. It is just over 1 inch thick. It's fairly heavy. I don't know how much. I would guess 4 ounces or so, 5 ounces. It's pretty dang heavy. It feels heavy. It's got the normal Olight double tap for turbo, hold it down to switch through, long press for your moonlight when it's off. And then it's got the tail cap. So the tail cap, if you click it, goes straight to the brightest setting right there, bam. That's pretty nifty for me, because I either use the lowest setting or the highest usually. And as I described before, with Olights, it has a hot spot for sure, but compared to the Streamlight, this is much more just blanket coverage brightness. So that didn't really suit me for the pointing, but at that time I started carrying around a laser tape for measuring things, so I'd use the laser on the laser tape as a pointer, so I kind of got around the hot spot issue for me. But where this light really failed is that compared to other lights, it's not very thin. It's quite heavy, but it just does not hold up in an environment where you're abusing your lights. So a light like this, I used it to scrape labels clean of things. I used it to smack on stuff. Sorry for the noise. This, I dropped it. This, not this exact one. This one I've bought since then, but that one went through stuff. It had seen things. It's been dropped in water. That light held up. Whereas this light, I bought it hoping I could utilize that magnetic tail cap like I had on the other guy. And ideally is you would do that, and it would help you see what you're doing, right? Oh geez, I'm sorry if you have epilepsy. Oh God, I don't know how to make it stop. Oh, so there's one problem right there. Did you see that? When I took it off, it turned it off. So goofiness there. So that works. But a lot of times I don't have the opportunity to stick it directly straight down where it's useful for me. And this orientation is important. Well, what I found out is here it's fine. And a lot of times you'd get it to go and you'd be like, okay. But as it's very weak. And on several occasions, I had it like that, and it would fall down onto concrete. And most of them, I'd say, were under 2 feet drops. But basically it toasted this light. It would work, and right now it seems to be working just fine, but it would turn off randomly. I'd click buttons and they wouldn't work. It just didn't hold up, you know, from those drops. And after seeing what the lack of performance from those drops, I was too afraid to use it to do the things that I use this light for. And the pocket clip is good. It's a lot more robust than this one on the Streamlight. But once again, when you do the hat bill thing, this light's so much heavier than this one that I couldn't get it to stay on my hard hat because the fit is already pretty awkward on a hard hat, so it'd fall off. And it's so heavy that it'd be pulling my hard hat down. You know, the reversible clip just is kind of pointless on this light for me. So I just didn't see the point in this one. And then, and that's an industrial pro environment. It just doesn't hold up. It doesn't really do what I needed it to do exactly. The charging does work great. Slap it on that magnetic charger, take it right off. It's super nifty, and the brightness is really high, but it had that spill that this light already did for me when I wanted it, but didn't have the hotspot like this when I wanted it, because this light will go farther than this one. So there's times when I'm looking 120 feet up at the ceiling trying to trace down a pipe, and I can't see it as well with this one because this one goes farther with that hotspot. So yeah, it just didn't hold up, didn't do what I needed it to do. So I didn't really like it in that environment. So then I was like, well, maybe I've got a good like tactical EDC light. Well, once again, let's compare it to the Tactician here. So the Tactician's bezel is about the same, but it's significantly lighter. It's much svelter in this area. This has a very robust pocket clip. I do prefer the deep carry of it on the Olight versus this. I really wish I could go deep with this or flip it, but the big thing comes with the tail cap is, me personally, I want a momentary on. I'm pushing out as hard as I can. I want momentary versus the click. And some people say, oh, you know, you can just press it slightly. See how I do that? Just slightly and let go. But with good motor skills, I can barely not purposefully click it. The travel is very short and very mushy versus something like the Streamlight, where I can really easily just click it, or I can do the whole thing because it's much stiffer. And even, I think this the through night's dead. It's basically dead. It's just so mushy, it's so short, it's really difficult to do that like half press in a tactical situation. And it's bigger, it's heavier. I don't trust the reliability of it. So once again, I'm just asking myself, what's the point of this? So even in a tactical situation, I didn't like it, and I much prefer the Tactician here. So at this point, basically it's my garage light. That's what it is. And it's a great garage light. It's very bright. You can slap it on the charger. So that's what it's good for. If you need a garage light, a good quality garage light, the M2R Warrior is good to go. But for me, I ask, why spend $100 on a stinking garage light when you can get something that's a lot less expensive that basically does the same thing for a non-important role? So that's what I've got to say about that. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. Bye.